gonna do something I haven't done. Talk about video games. Hello everyone, welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce. Before we start, I'd like to say a quick shout out to Hannah and the guys at the Horror Hub Facebook group. You guys rock. I appreciate the support. Alright, today we're going to talk video games. So I am going to give you my top 5 most influential horror video game series. Alright, let's shoot to number 5. So my number 5 is Night Trap. So if you don't know what Night Trap was, I'm assuming you weren't born in the early 90s. I mean, you weren't around in the early 90s. Night Trap was released in 1992 on Sega CD, and it came under a huge amount of criticism, especially when the first Mortal Kombat was released, it opened up a wave, especially when the Democratic Senate, and they attacked video games for violence. And the first one they attacked was Night Trap. So Night Trap was a live action video game. It starred Dana Plato from Different Strokes. She was actually in the video game. So it was an actual live movie that you got to interact and play with on the Sega CD. It was released through Digital Pictures, who made a lot of games for the Sega CD, like Slam City, Corpse Killer. There was a boxing one. I can't think of the name of it, but I was a big. I own a Sega CD, and it followed a group of teenagers who are having a slumber party, and some vampires comes in, and you are in control of booby traps to catch these vampires and save these teenage girls. Got pulled off the shelves. The U.S. Senate said, "Fuck this video game. We're gonna pull this off the shelves." I remember I couldn't even purchase it. I remember like a year or two after this happened, I saw it on the shelf on my local video store. I was like, oh, and I totally rented it, and I loved every minute. As a horror fan and a video game fan, Night Trap. I can't talk about any other games on the list without going over Night Trap first, because Night Trap did something that was unique. It caused news throughout the country. It said a big fuck you to everybody. So Night Trap is number 5. Number 4 for me is going to be the Dead Space series. Now, there's a lot of other series that have done kind of what Dead Space has done, but Dead Space took it on a whole nother level by having you out by yourself in space. And I remember the first one was released in 2008. I remember playing it. I went to the GameStop. I heard about it. I saw the reviews. I played it. And that's definitely a video game that just gave you that alone feel. You're alone and you're captured on a ship, and you don't know what the fuck's gonna come at you. I mean, some of the freakiest monsters you've ever seen. The jump scares coming at you. It's just the first video game that gave you, like, you were secluded, you had nowhere to go, you were alone. Even something as simple as gravity was taken away from you. And what also was the most terrifying thing about this series was it gave you limited amount of ammo. So you had to use a lot of stealth, a lot of running, you had to think with your brain. You couldn't just go gun hungry unless you had that cheat code for the limited ammo. So definitely Dead Space. It spawned, it's 4 games now. They just had a remake, I think, made. Dead Space is a great series of video games. If you wanted to jump into the horror series, I would recommend jumping in with Dead Space. That's my number 4. Number 3 for me would be the Silent Hill series. So the original Silent Hill was released in 1999 on a PlayStation. I was a big Silent Hill fan up till, I think, Silent Hill: The Room. Silent Hill 2 is maybe not the greatest PlayStation 2 game ever made. Probably, I mean, it's up there. I'm going to have to do a ranking of the top horror games, period. But it's definitely up there in the top 3. Silent Hill gave you this scary horror where it did what Resident Evil did, but a little different because it gave you the option because you're you're in a city seeing some of the most disturbing things. The fog, the light, just having a flashlight, hearing noises from the radio. Also, too, it gives you this scary scenario in each one of the series, where majority of where it's your daughter, it's your wife, it's your they are missing in this town, so you can't just leave, even though you see all this fucked up shit in you. It's your daughter, it's your son. You have to fight and get through. So it's a real life experience that I'm assuming any parent, any husband, wife, somebody cared about somebody. What do? You have to go and venture through. Silent Hill has some of the best villains in any horror video game, maybe any video game period. Pyramid Head, the creepy nurses, just iconic. Silent Hill has also two movies, actually full-length motion picture movies have came from the series. Silent Hill is definitely number 3 on my list. So number 2 is going to shock a lot of people. Left 4 Dead, which was released in 2008 on Xbox. And it gave you the scenario to play with your friends online, and you all are on a team fighting zombies in a real-life zombie situation like Dawn of the Dead. And it was pretty amazing. I spent so many hours with playing with Jason and Lou and all those guys. So many hours. Great times. And because of Left 4 Dead, if you look now in video games, you got games like Dead by Daylight, the Friday the 13th, the Alien, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. All of those definitely stole off the idea of Left 4 Dead, of having a multiplayer online experience with your friends in a horror movie scenario. Left 4 Dead, amazing time. It's definitely my number 2. All right, everybody knows who number 1 is. Resident Evil. Stop. The original was released back in 1996. It was the reason I bought a PlayStation. Actually, I didn't buy a PlayStation. I'm going to lie. My older sister got her first job. She bought a PlayStation. And I bought Resident Evil to play on her PlayStation. Oh, Resident Evil. It's my favorite video game series. If you know anything about me, Resident Evil. I hate the movies, by the way. So Resident Evil spawned off tons of movies. I hate every single one of them except for the little remake that it wasn't too bad. But the most iconic, influential horror video game series. What we're on? 6, 7, number 8. We're on number 8. Numerous remakes. I mean, if someone is making their top 100 video games ever made, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 4 are definitely on that list. Just each series, they revolutionize themselves. They get better. I remember Resident Evil 7, which is Biohazard. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's the one where you're visiting your wife's family for the first time or something, and they're fucking deranged serial killers, and you got no weapons running around the house. Oh my god. That game scared the absolute shit out of me. I could not play that game at night. Scared the crap out of me. I couldn't even finish that game. I finished every single one of Resident Evil. I could not finish that one. Resident Evil, number 1, it's the greatest video game horror series there is. I mean, they're the OG. Yeah. If anybody can't disagree with me, Resident Evil definitely is. Alright, guys. Well, thank you for coming to my channel. I'm going to do a ranking soon of what I think is the best horror video games ever made. Top 10 or something like that. So definitely check that out in the future. Alright, if you like this video, hit the likes button and subscribe. I'm going to do some more video game talk. I like video games. Video games and horror, I feel like, go together. Alright, guys. Well, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce. I'm going to see you guys next time. Take care.